Everybody, it's Todd Tracy. I have a great man today. The Iona head coach for the baseball team, Connor Burke. How you doing today this morning?
I'm good, Ty. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I understand y'all still in mid-season, but I'm glad you use your spare time to talk to me today. That's really great for you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you having me on. I'm looking forward to speaking with you.
All right. Tell me yourself. Tell your background story before you started coaching and everything.
Sure. So, uh, as a player, I kind of bounced around a little bit. I was at multiple schools. Started off at St. Leo University in Tampa, Florida. Coach got fired, so staff turned over. The college baseball kind of carousel begun, and there I was in junior college. Went to Suffolk County Community College for 2 years. Went to two NJCAA World Series. Then wound up at Guilford Tech Community College in Greensboro, North Carolina. Down there, I kind of learned that I know what a professional baseball player is going to look like, and that wasn't the guy I was looking at in the mirror. So wound up finishing my degree at Queens College in New York City, where I played captain for 2 years. And then that's where I started my coaching career. Started at Queens College, then bounced around, went to Concordia College in Bronxville, then was at Adelphi for a whole 6 months, and then wound up in Maine at the University of Maine in Orono for 4 years. Was at Dartmouth College for 2, and now here I am at Iona.
And when you first got the head coach job, was you like kind of nervous at first? Like, I don't know, be able to get because you still don't got enough coach experience, but would you feel like you was ready for that big step?
It's funny, man. Like, so for me, I never really wanted to be a head coach. It just wasn't something I was interested in. I really wanted to be a recruiting coordinator at a Power 5 school. And that's kind of the track I was on. And I got a call from my old boss at Maine, Nick Durba, who's one of my best friends in the world. He's from Queens also, so we always have that thing going. And he said, "Hey, Iona's looking for a head coach. I just got a call." And they asked if I knew anybody. And I think I got a guy. And I told him, "Just let me check if he wants to be a head coach." I said, Derbs, I don't know, man. Like, I'm pretty set with the path I want to go on. I was interviewing for pro ball jobs at the time too, and rookie ball to be a hitting coordinator. And he said, "Listen, just take this. You need the experience. You need to know what it's like to be a head coach." And I popped on and I talked to Tom Moran and Matt Klobowski. And within, I mean, man, like the first 30 seconds of the interview, I was hook, line, sinker. And I wanted it. Like, you start talking about your dreams, you start talking about like putting your influence into a program and it being run the way you want. Like, it's a unique opportunity, and I ran with it. I mean, I went full tilt. I probably broke every interview rule known to man, but I was just myself because every job I've gone after, I was like, listen, if they don't want me for who I am, then it's not the right fit. So I was super lucky that our vision, I guess, for the program and where it needs to go and how it needs to get there all lined up. And as soon as I heard that, I was in. I was all in on this place.
I'm just glad you got your first head coach job. It's really a big process, a big step. I want to say congratulations to you. But let's talk about your playing career. You played 2 JUCOs, and I played with I played football in college. I never played JUCO, but a lot of my teammates played JUCO football and told me the experience. What was the baseball experience like for a JUCO?
Oh, it's a grind, man. Like, it's a dog-eat-dog world. It's probably – so there's different levels of junior college. So basically where I was at Suffolk Community College, you're more local. You're more with guys that you kind of grew up with from the same area. Not really a lot of, I guess, diversity from around the country as far as guys from different areas of the world, right? So that was probably a little more extended high school baseball. Just guys are better. But when I went to Guilford Tech, man, like, you got guys from Puerto Rico, you got guys from North Carolina, you got guys from New York, Florida, Texas. Like, so culturally, you're sharing all these different kind of experiences. And it's a real melting pot where you just learn so much about yourself and your teammates. And then from a baseball perspective, like, that is dog eat dog. Like, you're as close to professional baseball as you can. Like, you love your boys, like, they're your teammates, you want to win. But you got to play, you got to go get yours at the same time. So everybody is basically just trying to get there so you can go play at a 4-year school, get drafted. But you're still sharing this experience of trying to win ball games. So it's super unique, that junior college lifestyle. And then you don't get anything, man. Like, you don't have glove contracts. You don't have cleats. Like, we had like this Reebok deal that was super cheap. Our cleats were falling apart, but there were some of the best times of my life were playing junior college baseball. Like when I go back and I think about ball, like I don't think about Queens College as much as I do junior college. Like I feel like that's really where you cut your teeth and kind of know what you're made of.
And give me your experience. You played in the JUCO World Series. What was that like?
So it was in Tyler, Texas. It was unbelievable experience. I mean, you go down, Tyler's the rose capital of America, and they have this big parade where you go and start in, so the town comes out for it. I mean, when you think about Tyler, Texas, it's as small as you think. And the people love it, and they come out full force, and you're seeing guys that you can't believe it. I remember, still remember playing UT Tyler. They were unbelievable. They're just rolling out dudes 93, 96, hammer breaking balls, and Joliet from Illinois. They were unbelievable. So you're playing against the best, and that's why you play the game.
And after your college career, after you graduated, you started coaching at Division II. Then for two seasons. Then you went to Division I. And a lot of people don't understand the difference between Division I and Division II. I played Division II football, but I just want to tell the people what's the difference between coaching Division I and Division II baseball or the program overall.
So a lot of it, believe it or not, is funding, right? Like when you get away from it, like you don't have as many scholarships, you don't have as nice of things. Funding is a massive difference. Generally, your conference games are much closer, not staying overnight. Generally, bus trips, there and back, touchdown, touchback. And then from a playing situation, I would say that the biggest difference is speed and size. A lot like football. Like my dad played football at NC State and then actually played at LIU Post. So we'd always talk about the difference between like those levels. And the same thing with baseball, like speed and size are the biggest thing. So speed of the game is a little bit faster. Division I, the size of the players, how fast they move. It's just a little bit different from an athleticism standpoint. And another kind of difference is basically motivation. So I would say that at a Division I baseball team, the average is you probably have about 75% of the guys whose goal, not dream, but goal is to play professional baseball. Like you get in those D2, like the freshmen when they come in, 100%, all of them play professionally. Sophomore year, see it dwindle. And by their senior year, you probably have 1 out of every 4 guys that want to play professionally. So your aspirations are a little bit different from that level too.
Yep. And you coached 2 great guys in Maine, Jeremy Penu and Chris B. Jeremy went to the Houston Asteroids and Chris went to the Blue Jays. Give your intake about them 2 guys that when they got drafted.
Jeremy right now, he's killing it. He just hit a walk-off home run last night in the 10th inning. But you talk about two incredible kids. Jeremy's from Providence, Rhode Island. Chris Beck is from Miami. So totally different backgrounds. 2 of the hardest workers I've ever been around. I mean, Jeremy Pena redefined what hard work was for me. Like as a coach, I thought I worked hard. And when I got to Maine and seeing how he put in daily routine, the effort that he put in, I was like, man, that's what it takes to be great. Like there was nothing he didn't do that wasn't tailored to being great at baseball. Like his eating habits, his sleeping habits, his work ethic, everything in his life was tailored to being great at baseball. And Chris was super similar, right? The only difference between those 2 was Chris was a big old personality that like he sucked up a room as soon as he went in there. And Jeremy was a little more of a humble guy. So seeing both of those guys was pretty incredible. And then we actually had another guy that played in minor league spring training this year by the name of Cody Lawyerson, who's right-handed arm. And he's probably a little more similar to Jeremy. Super hard worker, but real quiet guy. But I think the big thing with those guys is they tailor their life. It's not just what they do on the field, but it's everything that they do off the field. It's dedicated to being great.
And after you coached in Maine, you went to Dartmouth Ivy League school. And a lot of people don't know about the Ivy League school league. It's totally different from a regular school league. Just give me your intake. What was the difference between Ivy schools and regular schools?
It's the options that the kids have. I mean, that is a big difference. I mean, I'll tell you what, if my son ever gets into an Ivy League school, you bet he's going. Like I've seen now the doors that are open for these kids. I think that's the big thing, right? Like You go to an Ivy school, like your goals are a little different. Yeah, you want to play professional baseball still because you're a Division I athlete. But by your junior year, if you're not starting all the time, like guys' goals and gears shift towards that working world.
Mhm.
Baseball becomes more of a hobby and less of a job,
Mhm.
which is pretty interesting because you'll see some kids play really, really free because it doesn't matter anymore, right? Like they know they're going to go make six figures. They have these internships lined up. It's amazing, and they play a little free. It's more of a fun game for them, right? It's not their life. It's a part of their life. So there's a little more balance from that perspective. But the amount of work that those kids put into the classroom and the field is exceptional. I mean, those kids are busting their tails in the classroom, doing everything they can to nail these interviews for their internships, and then come and spend 3 hours on the ball field and working out. I mean, it's really impressive how those guys are able to manage their time.
And tell me about the academic situation, the academics for the Ivy League school.
Sure. So getting into an Ivy is incredibly difficult. Like you have academic standards that are through the roof, where you're looking at kids 14, 15, 1600 SATs actually can't get in. And they're not top 5% in the class, man. It becomes really difficult. And then once they're in, once you're in an Ivy school, man, you're in. They're going to do everything possible to help you stay in. So the resources that are available to the kids are unbelievable. But if they don't use them, it could be very, very difficult, right? If they're not going to the extra work, if they're not going to office hours, if they're not doing study hall, all those things are super important for an Ivy League athlete just because it's so demanding. And the Ivy League itself really looks at the student athlete as a student athlete, where there are no exceptions for like missing finals, missing class for, games. It's incredible. So you don't play on Fridays, right? You got to wait until the last class is over on a Friday before you leave for your games on Saturday, Sunday. Your midweeks are very tailored. It's a different world where the academics truly come first, and they don't get baseball scholarship. That's probably another difference. The Ivy League doesn't have athletic scholarship. It's all based on financial aid. And again, like these financial aid systems are endowment based and privatized. So the amount of money that the kids are getting sometimes because of their financial situation, it'd be higher than what you would get from a FAFSA. But again, like a lot of times, there's still pretty hefty bill that a lot of these kids are fronting.
And give me your intake. Do you think they should start giving kids athletic scholarships in the Ivy League?
It's a really hard thing to say, right? Because there are no scholarships in any Ivy League school, even academically. It's all grant-based. Mm-hmm. So I think you would just open up a bag of worms as far as now you got to start giving academic scholarships. And then, all right, who has the highest endowment? Okay, so Harvard, Princeton, Yale are now going to be able to give out more academic scholarships. And you would just see things kind of spiral out of control. So I think for what the Ivy League is and how unique it is, that it's all right that they don't have those athletic scholarships.
I definitely understand that because I always heard the Ivy League school was way different from the regular schools and stuff. That's why I was like, I don't have the Ivy League experience, but that's why I asked you.
It's totally different animal. I think the biggest thing is like they have this week where the juniors do nothing but interview for internships. Mm-hmm. And you have these headhunters coming into the school. And then when they're seniors, you have headhunters in school every week. And all they're doing is looking for guys that they're going to hire. So we'll have guys and they're talking about what jobs they have lined up before they even graduate. Like a lot of kids aren't even thinking about that yet. But it's a different world.